Right, good afternoon, guys. Hope you are well. Hope you are doing all right on this beautiful, beautiful weekend. So I'm just continuing on the series I'm doing on safety file compilation, and today I just want to continue and do part two, where I am looking at the OHS specification or a health and safety specification. Yesterday I touched on the first and foundational part of any health and safety file compilation process, which is the safety file compilation. Today I'm going to the second one and second most important document, which is important before you even start doing any compilation, and that is the health and safety specification. Now, the health and safety, I'm not going to start afresh. Let me continue. A health and safety specification is simply a document which is given to you by the owners of the project, the clients, as per construction regulation section 5. They give you a specification which tells you specifically what are the things they need you to comply with on site. So a health and safety specification is a document that you will use to then compile your safety file. Now, let me just show you where this is coming from. We are not just sucking this information. It's coming from the construction regulations. Now, construction regulations, as you can see here, section 5, under duties of the client, it says it is the duty of the client to prepare a suitable, sufficiently documented, and coherent site-specific health and safety specification for the intended construction work based on the baseline risk assessment. So here, the Act is simply saying there that every client, everyone who has a project they want done, it is their duty to produce a site-specific health and safety specification for that particular project. And they give it to you, which you will use, number one, as a guideline to compile the safety file, but number two, when the project is started, as a guideline of things that have to be complied with. Not only is this supposed to be done, but in fact, section F there tells us there, where I've highlighted, that it is the duty of the client to include a health and safety specification in the tender documents. So the person you're compiling a safety file for, the next thing which you do after getting information from the site-specific or from the health and safety questionnaire, what you do is to request for the specification. Ask them, were you given a specification? Because the specification is important, it will guide you in how to compile the safety file or to compile a proper and adequate safety file. Very, very important. Now, especially your state-owned enterprises, your SOEs, your municipalities and government departments, they do that a lot. They provide a site-specific health and safety specification, as well as most construction companies, where they've got subcontractors, they usually give them a site-specific health and safety specification. So a specification is just a simple document which specifies in detail what are the things that you need to include in your safety file, as well as to comply with when the project is started. Let me just show you an example of one. I'm actually doing a safety file right now for one of my clients, and it's for a project for Johannesburg Road agencies, and this is their health and safety specification. So a health and specification looks something like this, just a simple document where the owners of the project, for instance, in this case is GRA, they then specify to the contractors to say that, guys, if you are to do these projects for us, these are the things that we need you to comply with when you are working on our site. So they'll specify that they need you to have medicals, they need you to have a notification of construction work. For instance, they need you to have a safety policy, they need you to have an organogram in your safety file, they need you to have risk assessments, they need you to touch on the issues of safety reps, health and safety committees. So they specify everything they need done with regards to health and safety on site. Let me just look at one aspect here. I saw here, they mentioned that they need you to have an emergency preparedness plan. Let's see what they want. So this then will be a document that will differentiate one safety file to another. So here, for instance, they say they need an emergency procedure. Yes, there we go. They are saying that we need an emergency procedure. And they are saying that the principal contractor shall prepare a detailed emergency procedure prior to the commencement of work on site, and it shall include and form part of the health and safety plan. So they want your safety plan even to include this emergency aspect. And then they are saying here, your emergency procedure must include these four main things. Number one, they want to know the key personnel on site. They want to know who is the first aider, who is the firefighter, who is the emergency coordinator, who is the assembly point coordinator, who is the fire marshal. They want to know all those key personnel. Number two, they want to know the nearest details of the nearest emergency services, including physical address and phone numbers. They want to know where is the nearest hospital, which is the nearest firefighting station, what are their contact numbers. They want all that information. They want to know the action and steps to be taken in the event of a specific what? Incident. For instance, in the event of a fire, they want to know what will happen. In the event of a flood, what will happen. In the event of a bomb scare, what will happen. They want to know all of that information when you are looking at the aspect of emergency preparedness. They also want to know information on hazardous material or situations that may be encountered during the project. So basically, the health and safety specification will specify to you everything that the client wants you to comply with when you're doing this particular project. Is that clear? 100%. So after requesting your client whom you're doing the safety file for, or your company, when you get the questionnaire done and completed, you have to request for the OHS specification or the health and safety specification, because that will act as your guide when you are now compiling the safety file layer. I hope Siazwana, I hope that makes sense. Is that clear, guys? Hope so, hope so, hope so. But sometimes there are some companies or some organizations who say that, no, we don't have an OHS specification, just produce a safety file. So there you have a blank check. You just produce a safety file and follow whatever template which you have. Then in other companies, they won't give you an OHS specification, but they won't say do whatever you want. They'll give you a safety file index. Safety file index is just a list of things that they want you to complete. For instance, the safety file I'm doing for this client, they've given us somewhat of an index to say that what do they want in a safety file. They've listed for us 10 main things and say that, no, what you have to produce are, when we're auditing your safety file, we'll check, do you have a signed 37.2 agreement? Do you have a valid letter of good standing? Do you have this and that? Do you have appointment letters? Do you have a COVID-19 plan, the safety plan? Do you have legal appointments? Do you have risk assessments which are specific to the project? Do you have valid medicals? Do you have registers and checklists? And lastly, do you have workmen's compensation documents, which is your WCL forms? So different clients will require you to compile a safety file differently using different measurements. And they are going to measure you differently looking at what they have specified. So it's very, very important and crucial that when, as a safety officer, you then request and say, and safety file or the health and safety OHS specification, and that will help you as a guideline. Right. I just wanted to share with you on this second part, which was important. But like I said, guys, I can only scratch the surface. I'm not going in deep because I have not much time. I just have less than 10 minutes to do this presentation. If you want to learn more, if you want to get more information, get the templates, get everything, please join. We've got a safety officer, comprehensive safety officer training course, which I'm running, which I believe will benefit you. If you're already employed as a safety officer, but you want to gain more knowledge, more experience, join this class. If you are new to the field of health and safety, and you're not confident, you don't have much knowledge, join this class. If you don't have documents and templates and everything that you need, join this class. If you have just qualified and you are getting interviews, but you are failing your interviews because they are asking you certain things which you have never met or which you don't know, join this class. Because this class, I have hand-picked information and topics in relation to what is done at the workplace, specifically. It's a practical, comprehensive training, practical, which will help you to be the best safety officer you can be, and it will help you really to boost your career in this field of occupational health and safety. I hope that makes sense. I hope that blesses you. I hope that encourages you, and I hope that helps you to become better as a safety officer. Otherwise, thank you very much for joining me for these classes. Let's meet on the next one when I do part 3 of the safety file compilation. And I'll be doing this concurrently. One end, I'm doing safety file compilation, a whole series. On the other end, I'm just going through the construction regulations and just teaching you 1 or 2 things from there. Hope it makes sense. Keep well. Bye-bye.